Hi, my name is Tuk. This is a video for potential web and/or app developers for the Top Choice Placement System. By the way, this is me. I don't know how the selfie works with video. There's another video that I have that goes back to the Top Placement System being based on the Championship system for a board game, but I'm going to try to simplify things here. I want to simplify things here. And hopefully you've looked at the concept at bellatop.com / well, actually, whatever links I might have sent you, the concept for the top placement system for the whole, as far as the whole website and phone application. But right now I'm going to focus on the engine of how the items get placed in the app and the website. And the way that it works is that every time there's I'm going to call it a game. It's basically a competition, a voting competition. And say that you're looking at pages in which there are 5 items in a quote-unquote competition or a game. And the game ends at a certain time or at a number of points scored. But every time the game is won by votes, so you're starting with 5, and there's whenever an item wins the game, and actually anytime anytime the game is over, certain scoring systems, a scoring system that for now I call Web Stars, is given to the items in that game, and there's countless numbers of games and countless numbers of items possible. So let's say that right now we're in the middle of the movie, so to speak, where in your phone app or on the website, whether it's you and your friends, you by yourself, or the entire fucking world, excuse my French, is clicking for items to win the games, and it's assigning, every time a game finishes, each item in the game is assigned a number of web stars. The simplest way to look at it is if you're starting with the very first game, where the very first game there's 0 web stars assigned to each item. When the game is over, the first item wins 4 web stars because it beat 4 items. The winner has beaten 4 items by elections, by voting, by you clicking. So at the end of the game, it has achieved 4 web stars. What that means is that it has defeated in that game, through the clicking process, quote-unquote voting process, it has defeated the other 4 items in the game. So the first one will get 4 points because it beat the other 4 items. This applies to every game in the system. The runner-up has beaten 3 items, so it gets 3 web stars, and so on and so forth. So the next one gets 2 web stars because it has defeated 2 items. The next to last gets 1 web star because it has defeated 1 item, and the one that didn't defeat any item, that ends up 5th in the game, if we go with games of 5, which I highly recommend, simply gets 0 web stars. Let's say that, like I said, we're halfway through the movie. There's so many games that have been played, and there's the computer needs to, because there's so many games happening or competitions happening, so many pages, and whether it's in your app or on the website, the computer needs to decide which items go to which web page. And I described this extensively in some of the draft audios from back in 2013. The system goes back to, I think, 2010 or earlier, which I invented for the Board Game Championship. Bear with me for a second, but the point is that the engine of it's the distribution of the items that move on to another game, because when you win it, whenever you're in the system, you keep moving to other competitions, and you want to move to the top, which would be the front page on the website or the front page in your app. And there's lots of pages and lots of, like I said, countless pages and countless games possible where you and or the entire world and their brother are clicking on that thing, are clicking on each of the games. And so let's say that the computer is looking at, computer is looking at, right now we're going to go with this. I'm going to do this as I speak. Actually, let's go with A, B, C. There's items A, B, and C that currently have 888 web stars. There's item D, E, F, G, H. There's items D, E, F, G, H. There are 5 items that the computer is looking at to place in the next games that have 887 points. Let's say that there's, at this particular instant, that the computer is sorting out which items to put on which pages. A page is the same as where there's a game or a competition of 5. Let's say that there's nobody between 887 web stars. These are all items that are getting ready to be placed in an instant by the database in the computer or the software in the computer. They're getting ready to be placed on specific pages. And ideally, each item that has been submitted by yourself or by somebody else in your circle of friends or in the world wants to be at the top, at the front page, whether it's in the category for best wines from Napa Valley or the overall competition worldwide. It doesn't matter, or the person you want to date tonight. It doesn't matter. The point is that each item that's placed in the game and that's placed in the system is going to get put by the computer, by the software, onto the right page. So in this particular snapshot, in this instant, the computer is going to, the software, the app is going to decide, is going to split all of these items into pages of 5. So let's say that there's, okay, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. There's items I, J, K, L that each have 884 web stars. Item M has 521. N, O, P, Q. There's items N, O, P, Q that have 99 web stars each item. Item N has 99 web stars. Item O has 99 web stars, etc., etc. I'm only doing a handful here. Obviously, the system could handle countless numbers, whether it handles 1,000 at a time or 1,000 at a split second or 1,000,000 in a split second. I'm just illustrating the example. R, S, and T. There's 3 items called R, S, and T in this example that have 7 web stars. U, V, W. There's items U, V, and W that have been in the system already, that have, however, never have beaten anybody in the game. So, oops. So they have 0 web stars, and there's a special row for beginners. X, Y, and Z are items that are have not been in the system already, have not been in the system before. They're coming into the system now. They've never been subjected to the clicking and the competition and so on and so forth. And we're going to do it in pages of 5. So what the system is going to do is it's going to look at, it needs to select 5 items. So it's going to look at the first one that's got 88. So there's 1. Okay. The first one's got 87. That's 2. The first one's got 884, so it's going down the score. It's not going, it's taking the first one in line at the top score, then the first one in line at the next to top score, and so on and so forth. And we want 5, so we got 1, 2, 3 that are going to be in the next game. This happens at the nanosecond, obviously, with the software. Item M is the 4th item that's going to go in the page, going down the line of web star scores. Once it's got 4, it's going to check for beginners. It's going to skip because there's always a beginner that's going to go into each game. A beginner would be an item that has never been put in the system yet. So now we've got 5. We got X has got 0 points by default because it's a beginner. M has 529 points. I has 84, D has 887, A has 888. And so it's going to create a little web page in your app where people are going to click, and that particular battle is going to be between A, D, I, M, and X. So that'd be the front page, whether it's for the category of wines or for who you're going to date tonight, or the whatever, the front page for the whole worldwide interactive website. So that'd be the first page. It had item A, because it was the first. You followed this, it had the first with the top score. Then it's got item D, which was the first of the next score down. Then there's item I, which is the first one of the next score down. And then it's got the M, which was the next one. I'm being kind of elementary about this, but you probably get this, but it helps to be very clear. The next one that had, the first one with the next score down, skip the other ones because we want 5, it goes down to the beginner. So in the next table, it's going down, it's picking up where it left off. You could do it, yeah, you could do it the other way, but we're going to do it in this example, we're going to do it this way, which anyway. So then the next one would be item N, which is the first one that if we're going down the first comers on the, going by WebStar scores in the system, item R, item U. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've gotten down to 0. We need one more before we check for beginners, and it goes back to the top. And the next one that was waiting in this particular grid at the nanosecond level would be item B, which is top scorer tied with item A and tied with item C. So we now have 4. Once we have 4, the system checks for beginners. You can also have the system check for beginners first. That's irrelevant. And the next item is item Y. So then there would be the second page. Again, I keep stressing this. This happens at the nanosecond level with software. So it's assigned the first 5. That'll be for page 1 in your app and or on the website. The next page would have a battle, so to speak, a competition between items N, R, U, and R, U, B, and Y. To see how this works. Right now I'm getting a brain glitch, whether it's, actually I think that I probably prefer to do this the other way, where instead of after we've gone down the first, it doesn't matter because, like I said, it happens at the nanosecond. But no, it could matter. Whether after you've assigned the first one. Oh my goodness, I'm getting. Anyway, the point is that now that you understand the very basics, what I recommend is you explore the links that I've got and see more about this. But that's a visual explanation of how this works. Let me just, yeah, let's just leave it at that for now.